Good morning, children. In our previous video of this chapter, the 100 dresses, okay, part 1, we had seen that how Wanda Petrinsky was being teased by her classmates. Okay, what was the reason behind that? Wanda Petrinsky, most of the children in room 13 didn't have names like that. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith, or Alan. There was one boy named Bounce, okay, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petrinsky was. So according to the students or the boys and girls in room number 13, Wanda Petrinsky was a funny name to utter, and that was one of the reasons why why they made a fun of Wanda. The reason was she had a funny name. The name which was a Polish name, okay, it was not an American name, one of the American names, okay. So Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. So Wanda, she didn't have any friend of her own, and she came to school alone and she went home alone. So she always used to wear a faded blue dress. Faded means a faint color, not a dark color, bright color, but a faded almost used dresses, they have faded color, okay. So she had a faded blue color dress which didn't hang properly. It used to slip down from this or that way, either over the shoulder, and it was a clean dress. She used to wear the same dress every day, but it was a clean dress, but it was not properly ironed, okay. And the girls were interested in talking to her just to make fun of her. And whenever she used to be on the ground, school ground, watching the little girls play hopscotch, the other girls, her classmates, they used to surround her, okay. Wanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. A most courteous way means in a respectful way, just to make fun of Wanda in a respectful way. She called her out. Wanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge like this to push. Now let's make fun of her. In that indication, she used to nudge one of her friends and she used to call Wanda in a courteous way. Wanda, please tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? So is this a question to ask a person who is really very poor? Okay, so how many dresses will you have in your closet? So what Wanda used to respond, in what way she used to respond? 100, Wanda would say. 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. So incredulously means showing unwillingness to believe. So the little girls and the girls who surrounded Wanda, they didn't believe in her and they exclaimed, 100. Okay, yeah, 100, all lined up, said Wanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. She would never say further any word until Peggy asked her any further question. 100, all lined up. What are they like? All silk? I bet, said Peggy. So what are your closets? All the dresses made out of? They are made out of silk, I bet. Okay. Velvet too, Wanda said. Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses. Velvet would repeat stolidly, all lined up in my closet. Stolidly means not showing any feeling. So without any feeling, she used to say, yes, velvet also, silk also, and all my 100 dresses are lined up properly in my closet. All lined up in my closet. Then they would let her go, and after making fun of her, they used to let her go. And then before she had gone very far, they couldn't help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. So she had not gone far away, and they used to start laughing, okay, on her. 100 dresses, obviously. The only dress Wanda had was the blue one she wore every day. So why did she say she had 100? Okay, what a story. What a story. Why she said that she had 100 dress when the fact was she had only one dress which she used to wear every day. So what was the story? How many shoes did you say you had? 60 pairs all lined up in my closet. The next question Peggy used to ask in front of all the girls was how many pair of shoes did Wanda have at that time. So she used to say that 60 pairs. Again, all lined up in closet. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this. All alike? Oh no, every pair is different. All colors, all lined up. So Peggy, who had thought up this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. Finally, Wanda would move up the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in the funny way she had, finishing the walk to the school alone. Okay, so Peggy and Maddie were the two girls who used to leave the classroom at the end. Okay, and Wanda used to move the street. Her eyes were dull, her mouth was closed, hitching her shoulder like this. She used to take the dropping part of the dress to take it up. Just used to hitch like this, and it makes it look very funny. So she made her way to school like this, and she made her way to home like this. Okay, so Peggy was not really cruel. Now let us know who Peggy was and how she was. Peggy was not really cruel. She protected small children from bullies, and she cried for hours if she saw an animal mistreated. If anybody had said to her, "Don't you think that it is cruel way to treat Wanda?" she would have been very surprised. Cruel? Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? Anybody could tell that was a lie. Why did she want to lie? And she wasn't just an ordinary person. Else, why did she have a name like that? Anyway, they never made her cry. So, Peggy was not actually cruel. She used to protect small children from bullies. Bullies means how she bullied. Peggy, she herself, she bullied Wanda for her dresses and the way her name was. So the same way when small children, they got bullied from others, she used to protect those children. She used to cry when the animals were mistreated. So she had feelings. She had feelings for small children. She had feelings for the animals. But when someone used to ask her about her cruelty towards Wanda, to ask her about her dresses, she used to say that I am not being cruel to Wanda, because why did she lie? If she had only one dress, why didn't she tell everyone that she had one dress? Why every time she says that she had 100 dresses? Okay, so this is not fair. And a unique name, who has such a name, Wanda Petrinsky? That was not good at all, and that is why I make fun of her. So Wanda, Peggy in this case, being kind to others, but for Wanda, she had a different feeling. So because she lied, Wanda lied, and she had a different name. She used to, because of these reasons, she used to tease Wanda. As for Maddie, now let us see how Maddie was. As for Maddie, this business of asking Wanda every day how many dresses and how many hats and how many this and that she had was bothering her. Maddie was poor herself. She usually was somebody's hand-me-down clothes. Thank goodness she didn't live up on Boggin's height or have a funny name. So Maddie was a poor girl like Wanda, but not as poor as Wanda was. Okay. So the thing when Peggy used to tease Wanda by asking her how many things she had, so it was bothering somewhere within to Maddie, because she herself was poor, and she used to wear clothes which were which were somebody's hand-me-down clothes. Hand-me-down clothes means old clothes handed down by someone else. So we do sometimes that when we have a closet full of clothes, so what we do, sort out at the not useful clothes or the old clothes, and we give it to someone who really needs them. So and that person starts using our old clauses. So that is known as hand-me-down clauses. So Maddie was a poor girl and she used to wear hand-me-down clauses. But thank goodness she didn't live in Boggins Height as Wanda did, and she didn't have a funny name as Wanda had. So because of these two things, Maddie got separated from Wanda. So she was different from Wanda. Sometimes when Peggy was asking Wanda those questions in that mocking, polite voice, Maddie felt embarrassed and studied the marbles in the palm of her hand, rolling them around and saying nothing herself. Not that she felt sorry for Wanda exactly. She would never have paid any attention to Wanda if Peggy hadn't invented the dresses game. But suppose Peggy and all the other started in on her next. She wasn't as poor as Wanda perhaps, but she was poor. Of course, she would have more sense than to say she had 100 dresses. Still, she would not like for them to begin on her. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Petrinsky. Maddie didn't like Peggy to ask, to tease and to insult her the way she used to ask her those questions. Not because Maddie really cared for Wanda, but the reason was Maddie herself was poor, and if Peggy stopped teasing Wanda, her next target would be Maddie herself, because she was also poor. She herself, she wore hand-me-down clauses. Okay, so Maddie didn't want Peggy and other girls to make fun of her after Wanda, so she wanted Maddie to somehow she should stop her from teasing Wanda. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad she had not had to make fun of Wanda. She worked her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly. 80 times 80, let's see, like this. Okay, she wished she had the nerve to write Peggy a note, because she knew she never would have the courage to speak right out to Peggy to say, "Hey Peg, let's stop asking Wanda how many dresses she has." When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. Suddenly, she paused and shuddered. She pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on, and Maddie would have to say it was one of the Peggy's old ones that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with new trimmings, so no one in the room 13 would recognize it. So then, today means the day when Maddie and Peggy, both of them were late to school because of Wanda. That was Wednesday. That day, Maddie was doing her arithmetic problems. She was working on her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly, because she was not good in maths. She was not good in arithmetic. So after that, she thought to write a note to Peggy, mentioning in that not to make fun of Wanda from there onwards. Okay, so when she finished up with her arithmetic chapter, and she started writing a note, and suddenly she paused, she stopped, and she shuddered. Why she shuddered? Because if she write a note to Peggy not to tease Wanda, she thought Peggy would obviously move towards Maddie as her next target to tease. Okay, because what kind of clause Maddie used to wear? Maddie used to wear Peggy's hand-me-down clauses. So Maddie's mother, she used to trim, she used to disguise Peggy's clause in such a way that nobody in room number 13 would recognize that it was Peggy's dress that Maddie is wearing. So she would be her another target regarding the dresses. So she didn't want that to happen. So she stopped writing that note that once. Okay, till here we'll see. We had learned about Peggy and Maddie in detail, and about Wanda also. Now let us see what happens further in this chapter, in this lesson, in this story. Okay, and we'll continuously move on to our part 2 as well, unit number 6. Okay, and then we'll finish it up with our chapters, with this lesson. Till then, please go to the second part of this video, of this lesson also, chapter. As usual, my instructions will go on. Please go through this lesson in the textbook and summary in the refresher, difficult words, and please watch these videos again and again until you understand it in a better way. Thank you.